Hey, VHS, easy here. What exactly is the RC good for? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you and explain to you. Welcome, this is the How to RC vid. Let's get into it. Alright lads, so I look really tired today, so please bear with me. Let's hope that I can like wake up some other time and look a little more awake, but I got the bags on, okay? Alright, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't really know why I'm so tired, but it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna talk about the RC. I want to show you guys how you can use it and just show you the mods that I think are good. Skins, whatever. Dude, flying saucer, MVP, so cool. Yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. Gonna get right into it. Gonna hopefully be able to teach you what to do with it, how to use it, what scenarios you might want to use it in, and just, you know, all around how to use it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching already, and yeah, I appreciate you. Let's get it. Now, just a couple of other things that I would like to mention. Number one being that the movement speed on the RC is 6.75 meters per second. Which when compared to Wart, who is kind of like the base, right, moves at 5.6 meters per second, which means that the RC is very, very fast and can really just chase the monster down for a really long time, for 55 seconds, I should say, because, well, that is the base time. Now, another thing that I would like to mention is that the summoning time is 2.1 seconds and the unsummoning time whenever it hit is 1.1 seconds. So the 2.1 seconds is whenever you're like going beep boop and summoning the RC, and the unsummoning time whenever hit is whenever the monster hits and you're stuck just watching your RC get destroyed. You're just stuck there for a full second plus 0.1, however you want to look at it. Pretty much just a second. Just a couple like really little helpful things just for you to know. Now for everybody's favorite bit, the skins and the mods. First, I'll go over the skins. This is just the base skin that you get. Pretty nice, pretty snazzy, if I do say so myself. Next is the Americana. Pretty nice. Very, very loud, I will say, but it does look pretty cool. Next up is the Militia. Pretty nice. Also, very, very loud, just so that you know. The Stop the Press. This one is actually very quiet, and it is the one that I would recommend if you're like, you know, going full sweat mode. No shame in going full sweat mode. Obviously, flying saucer. It's just great. It's beautiful. And finally, rainbow. I don't remember what this one sounds like, so I don't remember if it's loud or not, but I don't remember it being too loud. But hey, use whatever you're gonna use, and if you really want to sweat, run Stop the Press. Or bass, one or the other. These two are very, very, very loud. So anyway, on to the mods. First off, we have staying power. The weapon is no longer lost if the RC flyer is destroyed by the monster, but instead loses 25% of its charge. The speed at which the RC flyer flies when not firing is reduced by 10%. Now, for training wheels on figuring out how to use the RC, this is fantastic. This is why this is the very first mod that you get, is because they want you to learn how to use the RC, so they give you a mod that even if you screw up, you get a second chance. You can even get a third chance. Now, one thing that I would like to, you know, mention, once again, it takes 20-ish, it takes like 21 charges fully to kill a monster, because whenever you're firing, it goes through about 10 charge per second. I was going to say 10 fire per second. That's not correct. 10 charge per second. So that's just one thing that you really want to keep track of. So if your RC gets hit twice, probably going to be a dud, and you're probably only going to be down to like, I don't know, 18, 12 charge. And there's not a whole lot that you can do with that. You could scare for a second, but not for very long. So it's not normally worth keeping at that point. So yes, staying power, very good training wheels. And honestly, it's really, really worth running if you don't really know what else to put on. It's better than running base kit, I would say. So, yeah. Engine amp. This one is absolutely insane. The speed at which the RC Flyer flies when not firing is increased by 10%. The RC Flyer consumes 20% more energy from flight. Now that sounds ridiculous, right? But when you look at the actual math on it, 20% of 55 drops it down to 46 seconds, which is still a ridiculous amount of time. Plus now you're even faster, which means that you can keep up with a berserked werewolf, which moves at stupidly fast rate, and you're just able to keep up and completely nullify those 12 seconds that werewolf has his berserk. Now, some people might think that, oh hey, dropping it down to 46 seconds is really not good. Trust me, it is so worth it. That 10% speed increase, it's minimal enough that it isn't broken, but it is definitely noticeable, and the amount of stigmas that it lets me get is insane. You're able to rush through doorways faster than a monster can, swing. You're able to back out faster than a monster can imagine. It's just really, really good. This is what I do highly recommend, and you don't get it at a very high level. This is the level 2 mod, or not level 2, but this is the second mod. It's pretty easy to get. On to Long Shot. Increases the maximum range of the RC Flyer beam by 2 meters. But you will be exposed when the monster is within 15 meters of you while you are controlling the RC Flyer. Now, Long Shot really isn't all that great because you're just taking it from 8 meters of range, which is already really far, to 10 meters of range, right? Although you're exposed if they're within 15 meters of you. Now, I will say the hindrance is pretty minimal against good monsters because monsters can hear you controlling it from about 15 meters away already. It's just more obvious that you're right there. So, pick and choose what you want, but normally, if it's a good monster, they'll just go behind a doorway, and you'll only need 3 meters of range anyway, so adding on 2 meters is not really that worth it normally, I find. But, try it out, test it, see if you like it, and if you do, run it. Next up is Sensory Array. While firing the RC Flyer, you will be able to see the aura of teams within 24 meters of you. But the RC Flyer takes an additional 1 second to deploy. Now, I don't actually really know much about this mod. I wish that I did for you guys, but I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't know if it's around your body or if it's around the RC. I do wish that they would clarify that a little bit better. But if it's around the RC, that's actually not too bad. But if it's around the actual team, the person who's controlling it, I don't think that it's really going to be all that worth it in most scenarios. I can imagine that this will be way better in solo queue than whenever you're in a 4-stack or anything. But hey, sometimes you just want to know where your teammates are, and it can be very, very helpful whenever you're actually, going in with a weapon that's timed. Because adding 1 second to deploy is pretty minimal most of the time, since you're summoning from relatively farther away in most scenarios, at least. So yeah, go and try it out. Maybe let me know what it does, and yeah, thank you. Now, on to All or Nothing. The RC Flyer now consumes 35% less energy from flight. All weapon charge will be lost if you choose to dismiss the RC Flyer. So basically, once you summon it, you better not take it back. The only way that you can take it back is if it gets disrupted, or that's the only way that you can take it back. Or obviously if the team gets disrupted from a werewolf howl or something along those lines. Or obviously if it gets destroyed, then there's also that. So thanks. But yeah, so 35% less energy consumption is absolutely amazing. It adds a decent bit of time, because you got to think it adds basically 35% from the 55 seconds, and so you just get like a decent bit over a full minute of flight time, which is amazing for support players, specifically for support. For strikers, I would still definitely recommend engine amp, but for supports, you're trying to constantly keep the monster away from your teammates so they can craft and everything. This weapon can do that very, very well already, but if you add all or nothing on top of that and you just don't fire and you just scare them to sit in a doorway, what's the monster gonna do? Sit there for the next 40 seconds while your teammates get 3 different weapons made? I don't think so. But then what's he gonna do? Is he gonna move away? And then you just chase him with the RC and you still don't lose any extra charge, which is absolutely fantastic. It is. I have yet to test it, but I'm also not really the support, so we'll see how it goes for me. Whoa. You're kind of in my bed. But it's fine, because we're still just talking about the RC, because, you know, it's pretty good, pretty fun. So, as you can maybe tell, RC is actually really strong, since it is one of the only things that can actually keep up with a monster no matter what. It is fantastic. Now, where do you want to use it? Obviously, you could just craft it whenever, but due to the fact that it is a remote weapon, which is a, you know, weapon where you control it and as I describe it, the hitbox is completely separated from your body. The hitbox does not come from your person, it comes from a separate entity. So things like solar flare, eye, RC, those are all what I would consider remote weapons. Same with slingshot a little bit, but whatever. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, the importance is you don't want to just willy-nilly craft whatever kind of remote weapon. Solar flare you can do that with. RC and eye are very, very different. With RC, you generally want to craft it when there's already maybe 1 to 2 kite weapons already on the board, or maybe a solar flare. Those are some very good circumstances. And you got to think, if there's a solar flare on the board, tell your teammate to just get you all set up, go sit in the solar flare, and if your teammate's nearby, then they can just tell you to run, and if the monster starts to come at your body, you can cancel as soon as that solar flare starts to go off, and dip. You can run. And there is no repercussion for that, as long as your teammate's pretty good and they know their range. Now, one thing that can be kind of scary is if there are a couple RCs on the board or a couple eyes on the board. If there's already an eye that's in play, you don't really want to make an RC. It's not really the move, and generally it's not really needed either. Just try to build another kite weapon, or if you're support, go for something like a flamethrower to just kind of scare the monster off, or a solar flare. I will forever promote solar flare. It's too good. But with the RC, if it is the only remote weapon on the board, go for it. Like, as long as your teammates have a couple weapons. It's not going to be your last weapon to craft normally. If you're the last man standing, you don't want to be crafting an RC. That's really unfortunate. But if you're already doing okay, or it's the start of the game and you see that your teammates are making a sword and a flamethrower, go for the RC. It is a fantastic weapon. And even if you don't get the kill with it and you use 40 charges, you still have 60, right? And you only need 20 to kill, which is a lot of time to just zoom around and try to find that monster. And if you're running engine amp, you will run out of charges a little bit sooner, but you make up for it by just having more speed. It's just amazing. So as I have said, and I will say again, engine amp, absolutely fantastic if you are a striker player, because if you're a striker and you're building an RC, you are going for the kill. You're not really trying to hold off. If you are, support, you're more so trying to hold the fort, right? You're trying to hold the monster down. You're trying to not let them go anywhere. And if they do go anywhere, you're just constantly harassing them with that really large spinning butterfly of death. That's going to be what I'm going to call it from now on. The spinning butterfly of death. Okay, that is the RC. I like that name. Anyway, sorry. Getting sidetracked here, as I do. Anyway, so yeah, generally good crafting time, couple kite weapons, or a solar flare, and you're pretty confident. And even if you aren't confident, build it anyway, get cracked with it, get good. Right? Great argument, I know. Anyway. Now, the way that you want to use the RC, I guess more scenarios that the RC will be used in and scenarios that will happen is two major things. One, if it's Wart or Werewolf or Dollmaster sometimes, Dollmaster will just generally teleport away. Don't worry about that. If he TPs, just cancel. Press your right click, unless you have all or nothing, in which case, really bad time to summon the RC. But if it is a werewolf, generally what they will do is they will either just start to run away, or if they think that you're nearby, they will get behind a doorway and they will howl. Now, the howl does not affect the RC itself. That is one very important thing to know. If the howl will affect the teen, if a teen is within the howl range, then yes, it will cancel the RC. But if the RC itself is getting howled and the teen is nowhere nearby, the RC just stays up and the werewolf just wasted his entire E key. It's fantastic. And yeah, so that is one scenario that can happen sometimes. But generally they will just try to berserk away and get their speed, and you just chase them. Now, with Wart, instead of howling, he will just generally go behind a doorway, once again, and armor. Now, you will see this a lot because it is the immediate retaliation. Oh, I see an RC. Let me, zip zoom over here, get behind a doorway, and just armor and then try to fight it, right? Because Wart doesn't want to die, but we're gonna die. It's gotta happen. I'm sorry, Wart. Another thing that you can do in that scenario, just to try to really make sure that you don't get hit, if they start to chase your RC, because that's what most people will do once they armor, they will chase your RC to try to hit it. Make sure to keep your distance. You gotta remember, you have 8 meters of firing range on that. That is very, very, very good distance. And if a Wart is about to leap, don't be afraid to use a couple charges to just slow him down midair. What's he gonna do about it? And as long as you're counting down the time, which is 12 seconds on a Wart armor, you're pretty golden. It's pretty easy to get around that. But the scenario that I see more monsters doing over and over again is if they see an RC, they will go behind a doorway and they will sit there and they will wait until you push with the RC. Here's the very, very, very easy answer. Don't push with the RC. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Because you either have 2 options here. Either one, you can send it in and really, really, really just either be pretty good and, know your ranges, know what you can do with it, and hope that it doesn't get hit. Or you can sit there, wait for the next 40 seconds, make them sit there, and it's just a game of patience. Even if you use, 40 charges and you only have 15 left, you just buy your teammates like 30 seconds by making a Wart sit in place and do nothing. What's he gonna do? Run away while you harass him with the spinning butterfly of death? I mean, there's nothing that they can do. And that is where it can be extremely, extremely valuable, because there's not a whole lot of counterplay to it currently, other than try to push it and either potentially die or hit the RC. And if they hit the RC, that's rough. That's actually really, really rough, because that is 42 seconds gone, completely wasted. And if it gets hit really, really fast, I've seen people who've crafted it and then summoned it and it got destroyed within 10 seconds, which is always so sad. 42 seconds, completely wasted, completely gone. Try not to be that guy. So just don't push. It really is a game of patience. A lot of people want to go in, they want to be really fast with it. You have 55 seconds on it. You are chilling. Like, you can sit there and the monster has nothing they can do. And if they try anything, you have an S key. Just hold it. And if it seems like they're going away, then W key. All you gotta do and try to track with them. And just it's a constant harassment tool. And that's what you want to use it for. You want to buy time if you're support, and if you're striker, you want to kill with it. And no matter what playstyle you play, it is one of your more powerful weapons, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this fine, well, for me, morning, afternoon. It's afternoon for me. Oopsies, I guess. I'm really bad at keeping track of time when I'm recording. Anyway, one last little thing that I would like to mention is RIP Technoblade. I know, totally separate communities, but still want to pay my respects because I did enjoy Technoblade. He was a homie. He is a homie. And Anyway, that's it. That is the outro. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you all very, very much. I hope you guys have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it might be for you. I really, really hope that VHS is close to getting an EA, because, oh my gosh, I would be so excited. It's going to be a blast. Really, really excited to see you guys. And, yeah, as everybody's been saying, be kind, rewind. See you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe, of course, if you did enjoy the video. I will be pumping more of these out, as always. And, yeah, I appreciate you.